Cool, they want to snuff you in. Unbelievable. Sharina, welcome. Share a piece. This is going to be a short one. It's going to be one nonetheless. Let's cut this music down. All right, welcome family to another episode of the LanceScurv Show. We won't be broadcasting this show on LanceScurv.com because the company that I go through, for some reason, they say I have it set to private and can't put it on my own website, although I pay them a good amount every year. So now I'm going to have to get to the bottom of this later on because I guess somebody doesn't like me being able to speak freely on LanceScurv.com. This is real, y'all. And just like if you listen to the show with Nurse Navaya, let me just kind of show my face here to show I'm a real person, right? Okay, let's take this off. I'm here. I'm ready to rock, and we're going to be doing a lot of these shorter live streams. If I'm home, I can put it up. I'm like, wait a second, why do I have to go through all this production when I can just pop it on if I'm home and just make it happen? So look for a lot of short, frequent ones. Now, this is not going to be long at all. I just spoke with Brother Dave a little while ago, and he's going to be coming on soon, probably on a separate show, because I want it separate because his stuff goes out there. I don't even want to mar his reputation with this foolishness that's going on behind me, which we already knew. But I'm going to have to get in shrewd mode right now to speak the way that I do because they're looking to nail me. So if I can't broadcast my own channel, my own site, which the site is good, and they won't let me put it public, well, I'm still going to put it up there anyway. And so this is why I'll do recorded videos separate from YouTube and put them up. They're not going to stop that. But they saw the numbers last night, and they did not like the live participation. Like, again, I ran into this problem just now, and we'll challenge because I'm a champion. I'm going to defeat them, and I'm going to deal with that because I need to go live on my own video platform on my own website to say what the hell I want to say, right? And don't think that if you didn't listen to the Nurse Navaya show from last night, I urge you to go on LanceScurv.com, that version of it, and listen to it. It's going to blow your mind. Anybody here now, were they on that show last night? And you could tell them. She said some things. Synovia, Oyala. Yeah, I'm welcome in. And I also spoke to Shira and Sharina and Oyala. Maybe we can get the conversation in tonight. I want to be up a little late. I want to talk. I want to relax. But look for more of these talking shows. Again, this may not last no more than 15 minutes. I just wanted to kind of keep our minds in a certain place because they are hunkering down and playing dirty with us. These are their platforms, but they watch our communications. Now they want to interfere in it and stop certain things from happening. But this company that I deal with, they're going to hear from me. They're going to hear from me because they did some things to me already before, but it didn't stop anything. So this can't stop unless they want to refund me my money back, and I take everything to the podcasting, right? And there's another platform that I can broadcast from that I can go to that is super underground. There's a group of brothers that are on this that they only deal with subscriptions, right? No public or on YouTube, no on Facebook, because really and truly, I'm going to start pulling away from that. As you can see, even here, I don't have any social media logos on the stuff. I've been out here 21 years. If you don't know me by now, you will never know me. Teddy Pendergrass with it, right? Well, what I wanted to do today is talk about Abercrombie and Fitch. Life is a Fitch, isn't it? How many of you from years ago felt okay going into Abercrombie and Fitch? I know me with my big head and bold look going up in there. I never got a welcoming look up in there, but I never went in there for me anyway because I knew what was up. And you know, the funny thing is that there's a documentary coming out about Abercrombie and Fitch, the dark side of it. How many felt uncomfortable there? The people who worked there, they're just looking nervous. Hi. Little white girls. Oh my God. Oh, they did say they'd have these species here, big black Negroes. Oh, how you doing? How do we deal with them? We don't have hip hop wear here. They had that look. And so many of us were so happy to go in for that little preppy white boy, white girl, all American. I'm an American. Yes, and I'm included. Yes, racism, we understand it's there, but it's mostly a thing of the past. So I'm going to wear these clothes so I can prove to masses, children in high school, that I'm more like them. And maybe, please, maybe they'll accept me. I mean, I straighten my hair. I bleach my skin. I've got to wear Abercrombie and Fitch'S stuff, so maybe they'll accept me. But you're not trying hard enough. And my parents said to stay away from you because you act so niggardly. I can't have you come around. No, are you going to invite those guys from the south side of town over to your party? No, I'm not. You know why, right? Yes, because, Ken and Karen, they're coming over. We can't offend them. And Ken and Karen, they only want to show up to your party. Right? So Jay Edwards, welcome. Peaceful Pulley. Wow. Life is a trip. But I always felt a funny vibe when I went in, and it was never for me. It was always for someone else. I never liked the clothes. I always felt I'm very sensitive to these things. And I know, like, if I wore it, I'd probably slip and fall and bust my head or break my arm because I'm not supposed to be wearing those clothes, right? But there's a documentary coming out, and what is the name of it? It's White Hot: The Rise and Fall of Abercrombie and Fitch. White Hot. It should already be out because this article is a couple days old, and I wanted to speak on that in a longer situation, but I realized I don't really have to. A lot of these stories we can cover and vibe on it and get in the comment section and chat rooms and stuff and just tell our feelings about it. I'm just going to read like the first 2 paragraphs of this article. Very long article. Is it really? Let me see. No, not really. No. Oh, that was the other article I was going to read, okay? But I'm still going to read the first 2 paragraphs of this article so you can understand about the documentary and the history behind it. And it does go deeper. But if you do Google, other than the link that I share with you later on, you can see a little more into it. And I have a point to make with it. I'm not going to ever get up here like some reporter and try to report something and compete with people who are slanting news that we don't want to hear anyway. If I do speak on something mainstream, it's going to be something that I can share a point that I see in. You know what I mean? It's like boxing. Styles make fights. One fighter can beat, fighter 1 can beat fighter 2, and fighter 2 can beat fighter 3. So therefore, you think that fighter 1 will beat easier fighter 3. Because of the style difference, fighter 1 would probably lose to fighter 3, even though fighter 1 beat a fighter that beat fighter number 3. Example, George Foreman beat Ken Norton. George Foreman beat Joe Frazier. George Foreman, therefore, should beat Muhammad Ali because Ken Norton had beat Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier beat Muhammad Ali. So George Foreman should easily beat Muhammad Ali, who was fighter number 3. But the way it worked out, Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman. So that's the way things go. And when we talk on these stories, we have to find us in it. We just can't take it the way it's served, because it may be served for someone else on a mental level. And excuse me for wearing this shirt here that has an Adidas logo on it. This is an old shirt because I really want to never again wear name brand stuff, but I thought it was just a plain black shirt, and I threw it on. I was like, uh-oh, I look like a hypocrite. I didn't even have to show you, but I'm being honest. Big logo on it, okay? So you can't see it anyway, but my bad. I'll wear it around the house, painting, get it dirty until I throw it out. Because we don't need to support any of these people that don't support us. I don't even know what's up with Adidas. You all know what Adidas stands for, right? All day I dream about sex. That's an old one. You should have known that one already. But anyway, let me read this article. We got show at 10 o'clock or 6 o'clock for you on the East Coast. And somewhere in there, we're going to come in with Brother Dave. So I'm sticking close to my guns, and then I'm free, but it'll be really late then. Okay, boom, here we go. It's said that scent is the sense most powerfully linked to memory, which might be why Abercrombie and Fitch, decades removed from its position at the top of the mall fashion landscape, remains an unusually prominent part of the fashion conversation. For suburban millennials and their parents, Is there any scent that evokes memories quite like Abercrombie and Fitch's signature Fierce Cologne? The smell welcomed shoppers into Abercrombie stores during the brand's heyday in the 90s and beyond. Employees were rumored to spritz it into the air conditioning system. A 2014 study found that a whiff of Fierce inspired anxiety, bringing up memories of the shop's dark, dank stores with their made-in-a-lab shirtless welcome models outside and its thumping electronic soundtrack within. As the new Netflix documentary, White Hot, The Rise and Fall of Abercrombie and Fitch explores, the brand's legacy is complicated for a number of reasons. Its run as the prom king of the mall was characterized by overwhelming store designs and overly strong cologne, but also by discriminatory hiring practices and racist t-shirts. What the documentary makes clear is that Abercrombie's uniquely toxic blend of exclusivity and prescriptive fashion could not exist in today's world or style landscape, but also that those qualities were central to making it an enormous brand in the first place. In 1931, E.B. White described Abercrombie's wares as the clothes men want to wear all the time and don't. They carry the residual evidences of what men used to be before they became what they are. In other words, it represented some masculine fantasy, even back then when it was primarily selling to outdoorsmen. At one time, Abercrombie's clientele included such manly men as Ernest Hemingway and Theodore Roosevelt. By the late 90s and 2000s, CEO Mike Jeffries was busy imagining this all-American man as jacked, popular, and white. Under Jeffries, Abercrombie wasn't just a popular brand and logo. It created a totally dominant aesthetic with its preppy vision of American high schools and colleges. For many high schoolers of a certain age, a moose printed polo could feel like the dividing line between popularity and social outcast. I was going to end it there. Let me just throw one more half a paragraph in. White Hot charts that ascent as well as the brand's eventual crash landing, featuring interviews with former A&F models and employees, including those who were involved in a class action suit against the retailer. The documentary intends to shed light on how Abercrombie engineered its immense popularity and why it burnt out so quickly. Let's just keep on going with this. The film spends a great deal of time recounting Abercrombie's endless list of scandals, from the discriminatory hiring practices it maintained to the closest worth of racist graphic t-shirts it released. One of the more offensive examples features a fake advertisement for Wong Brothers Laundry Service with the tagline, "Two Wongs can make it white." Since this happened before the advent of social media, the shirt's release led to actual in-person protests. But Abercrombie employees in the documentary recount how it passed with barely a slap on the wrist. It quickly became just another punchline joked about by Tina Fey on Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update. It's almost as if customers expected the brand made for the cool kids to act like the rude, popular high schoolers that it dressed. I think there's more paragraphs to this. No, we're going to end it with that. But they get more deep into the names of what happened and, different stuff. And there's a lot of stuff floating around, more information than is just on this particular article. But what I meant to say with this is that so many of us, we love brand name items. And that's a dangerous place when you're not really aware what it means. I've heard mothers now say, well, I only have my children wear the best. They wear brand name stuff, and they tell their children, you got better clothes than them because your stuff is brand new and brand name. Branded, marked, like the logo on my shirt that I didn't intend to wear because I'm not representing any other company other than something that's truly black. And every time I forget and wear something, I'm going to call it out on myself. I have an inner struggle going on. I'm going to start beating up on myself, right? Branded. Who were branded? Who are the people who were branded? When you were on the plantation, right? You had to get branded so that if you ran away, another plantation would know who you belong to, who owns you. And it also served the purpose of if that next slave that escaped and they caught him on another plantation, they can come and say, that one's mine, that's my property. So is this what you're saying? What are the psychological implications of us wanting to wear branded clothes? Did we really leave the plantation? Do we have an identity that is outside of that mentality that we have to have a white man's or a white company's logo branded on our clothes, and we pass this mentality down to our children? They can't knock this for hate speech, right? I'm being real cool because if this was on the site, I'm gonna let them have it. So I'm right near the edge. They made the documentary. I'm just talking about it, right? But I'm speaking about something that we do, that it doesn't have to be Abercrombie and Fitch. It could be anything. It could be any brand. It could be clothing. It could be cologne. It could be shoes. Oh, I must have red bottom shoes. Oh, I must have this brand. It's got to be. That's a no-name brand. I don't want that. That's not. This doesn't give. Because you see, the more popular the brand, the more powerful in perception the brand is the more we feel more. Yeah. See, I got this brand. Translation: I come from a better plantation than you. You see, my master owns all of this land, and we produce. We now, master sitting back watching you, got his rifle for if you get out of line, but there's enough coons to go tell on you anyway. And you talking about we, my plantation. Does that sound familiar? We have so many black people that just may have a little, they'll argue and say, well, I have stock in that company. Well, you took your money and invested in a company that's oppressing you, and you say we, and you get that pink slip and you crying walking out the door with the box of stuff from your locker room, your locker, when they fired you, or you live in fear that you have to keep all things black off of you. You better not talk with little bass in your voice, right? If the person who's a supervisor or the boss over you, because that's slave to a boss man. If you're 6'5", you better walk like you 5'5" and hunch that back. You better sit down every time that little is complex. You better sit down. You better not stand over him and look down at him. You can't do intimidating nigger things. Let's just say it. Now, maybe this will demonetize or whatever, which I ain't making a lot of money anyway on YouTube. If y'all think so or don't think so, I'll screenshot something. You send me something personally and you'll come back as a believer. I do this from the heart. This is what I live. I got away already from the plantation. They can't brand me. They never could. And now I'm on this side of the Atlantic talking smack. So they're going to do everything they can to come against me. And I'm not building up a victim thing where, oh, we have to feel sorry for Lance. Let's just give him money. Because a lot of black YouTubers do that. Let me just say it. They play this victim role from some made up stuff, but I'm here, real deal, doing the damn thing. But they get the inflated numbers from playing that way. Later on, those who are controlled by the social media bigwigs, after you done talked all your black talk, when they want you to influence black folks to do something stupid, now you got to do it. I spoke about that with the video I did on black YouTubers. Not all, but some. They have to skedaddle and dance the way. It's like good cop, bad cop. You have the bad cop come around and you have the other one acting good. Well, you know, he's a prick sometime. He's going through stuff with his wife. Now, see, the bad cop knows exactly what he's saying, but he's going to try to win you over. So do you really have weed? I'll let you go. You didn't tell him anything. Yeah. And then here come the bad cop. I overheard that. You got it. Bring the dogs. You know what I mean? Don't trust none of them. And don't trust any of these platforms, because after what I found out, like, again, you better go, and I'm not saying you better. I'm just so hyped up, right? This is going to be a short one. You got to go to Nurse Nevaeh's show, not the one here on YouTube, but go to LanceScurv.com or go into the community section of this channel, and I put the link. It's the highest link that's there, right? You got to listen to it, the full show, because a lot of the times I'm not going to be on here for no more than 20 minutes before I go on over to my own channel or to my own website. But we're so used to being branded, we're so used to being marked, that we don't even have any esteem in anything of our own, that it has to have their mark on us. And so many of us looking for acceptance. And I remember this too. I remember parents bringing their kids into those stores and making them pick something out to go into the school because they were sending them to white schools, predominantly white schools. And anything black on you had to be erased. If it was too black or too stylish, especially at that time in the hip hop community, you couldn't wear something that would be cool in the streets in our neighborhoods. No, you have to emasculate yourself. You have to declaw yourself. You have to make yourself not look like a threat. I forgot who it was. So much content comes my way, and folks send me stuff. I read stuff. I'm looking. I fall asleep looking at the phone, reading it. Boom. Wake up, the phone's all on the ground. If it rings in the middle of the night, I got to jump up out the bed and pick it up off the floor because my brain is always working. But I remember someone saying, I'll remember it. I'll put it in the comments section later on, that if you want to walk around safe, you better walk around like with preppy wear, like little preppy, high school preppy, college preppy type clothes, big letter on the side, these sweaters and have these big glasses make you look intelligent. That's why folks who don't ever wear glasses, right? Guys who are locked up and they're facing some real bad charges, notice that they come out with these nice little glasses and they hold themselves a certain way, because glasses gives the impression of intelligence on a subconscious level, right? Because that means the person reads a lot. That's how we read that. That's why certain people do things on purpose. When you make a point in court and they're saying, well, I have nothing more, Your Honor. In other words, what I told you was so bad, I have nothing more. The burden of proof is on them. All these little technologies and things that they do to us, and we fall right into it. So when the enemy looks at us and sees us not giving into their dress code that basically says, I am a coon. Now, if you wear clothes and you want to wear it, it doesn't mean you're always that, but because a lot of us don't even know what we're doing. So this is why we have to have people out here to kind of hip you as to what things mean. And the enemy watches you on these jobs and watches you in life, and he can read you because there's certain things that we do on purpose to fit into them and submit ourselves to them. To say, listen, I pledge to be a safe Negro. You won't have any problem with me. You won't hear me blasting Farrakhan. Oops, I'm not supposed to know that name. Oh, well, let me say it wrong. That guy, Farrakhan, the one that hates Jews. You emasculate yourself in so many different ways to be pleasing in their eyes, and this is one way. And this is the guy that didn't really want anybody else wearing his clothes. He didn't say that. But that's just the way it is, and that's what that meant. And when you step into their world, how dare you want to wear our stuff? And it doesn't win you over with them. You the oddball. And just like in the one that I spoke about, 13 ways to know if you're racist, when you're on their jobs, it's damn the interrogation. How did you find this job? Why did you really? This is not even the interview. These are coworkers coming around. They'll smile and just ask you something. Oh, anal retentive with their buttholes all tensed up. Stick a diamond up there, you can crack it in the head. Oh, why are you here? You drive a nice car. Is that your car? Oh, okay. And they start looking at each other. Watch their eyes. One person over there typing, and they steady in it, not even typing, or one person act like they're on the phone and they close by, and why am I muted? It just muted by itself. See, I'm not going to be on here long. I got to get to the bottom of that problem. But just look for more things that happen on this channel. But the clothes we wear, the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we carry ourselves, you know what they don't like? A person who may look like me, any one of our different hues and colors, and just on the spectrum of color, but we're black. They don't like when you look them in the eye. Good morning, sir. How are you? You give them the respect. Good morning, sir. How are you? Good morning. It's so tap dancing. Laughing when there's nothing funny. Good morning, Lance. Now, if I was a coon version, Lance, good morning. Yeah, how you doing? They didn't pay you no mind. You watching them walk by. But when you look, you got one time to diss me. You got one time, not even overtly, but that undercover stuff, because I'm going to throw it back at you. I'm going to throw it right back at you. I know, Lance, keep going. Yeah, all right. Throw it right back at you. Oh, what's your attitude? I don't know. You spoke to me the same exact way. I gave it right back to you. What's up? And you look at it. I had a person tell a little story when I was working at Home Depot many decades ago, right? I helped this woman. It was a white woman. That was my job. That was mostly what walked in there at that time of the day. White women have that way. They walking up in there 10:30, 11 o'clock, and store's not so full, and they want all the attention. Well, I had nothing else to do. I did all the work that was needed in the aisle. I packed everything up. I received whatever I had to receive. Everything was neat, whatever. All the numbers were right with the SKUs and the UPC codes and everything. So she walks up to me and she wanted to know the history of this particular tile. And I've been schooled by other people, and I knew a little bit about it myself. Of course, I worked there. But my creative abilities, she wanted to know, in my opinion, what tile would fit better in this particular type of kitchen. And, I got into the detail. I said, well, listen, is it a very sunny kitchen or is it a very dark kitchen? Well, if it's dark, you may want to go with this one. If it's sunny, you may want to go with that one. Then they had the 6x12, the 12x12, and the 6x6 tile. She says, I have no idea. I saw a kitchen and I wanted to lay it out and use all three of those tiles. She says, I have no idea. And the kitchen guy is not here. The kitchen designer, which that was some gay guy, white gay guy, he's not here. I said, well, I don't want to say I had some little bit of artistic skills here and there. I said, well, let's see what we can do. I mean, there was nobody else around, so she was making my time go by. I said, let me get this cardboard here. I said, you have a pen on you? She gave me a pen. So I started sketching out squares. And then in the squares, I decided which one was going to be, break it in half, 6x6, 6x12, 12x12, and just mixed them up, right? And made this design that I continued through the whole thing with a certain continuity. And she didn't know what I was doing at first. I said, look at this now. And she said, oh my God, you're so brilliant. That's it. I said, well, I mean, I could rock those like maybe 5 or 6 different ways. Are you sure? Oh, yes. I'm going to find my husband and I'm going to show him, and you need to be commended. I have to call home base or home, whatever they used to call it, and I'm going to, let them know how brilliant you're wasting your talent here. What you just did saved me so much money. I have to give you something. Anything, give me anything you want. Just don't give me an STD from standing over there. So she wandered off. She was so happy. I mean, she was ecstatic. She was like, man, did she just hit the lottery or something? So all of a sudden, we got flooded. We got a rush for some reason. And here comes this white man. And he's, I need your help. He didn't want to even say that. He says, I need to know so and so and so and so and so. Now, he expected me not to know the products. But see, I'm a reader. When there was nothing to do, I'd flip up and look at how you apply it and what trowel you had to use depending on the size of the tile and how much mortar had to be put down and what's the proper grout to put in, and if you had the grout sealer and how to apply it, how you should all this stuff. I'm reading all this stuff, and they don't expect it out of me. They just say, well, yo, man, I left that box for you in your car, man, because this heavy, man, and this might hurt your back. That's what they expect. So I open my mouth and throw back their talk on them in their language with a little bit of my spirit. They don't like it. So I explained everything to him in a way of flexing. You know what I mean? He just knew I was going to have a speech impediment. He just knew Then he started using big words, and I use bigger words. We can talk simple here, but if you want to have a pissing contest, I just finished reading the dictionary on the daggone break. Let's rock. There's some more. Those are swords. Those are weapons that you can cuss somebody out without using profanity, that you can make fun of them. When you master their language, we know it's not our language. We know that our language is more expressive. And listen to any folks from the motherland talk. If you're not used to it, you're like, they get ready to fight. And they get down in it. Even when they have disagreements in English, they get up on each other. They have no intent on hitting each other. So here we are, strangled now in the English language and can't really put the in the words. So when we master it and throw it back on them, they don't like it. So I told him what it was, and he's looking at me like, pausing, and I'm looking right back at him. He was taller than me, but I'm like what's he want to do? You know what I mean? That's what I threw off. And I was saying that in my mind, throwing this off. I put my feet right. I knew what I was, look, we in the store, I'm not violent, but you start looking that way at me, I'm ready to shoot something back at you depending on what you come at me with. And I ain't no tough guy. I don't want to be walking around with bruised up and whatnot. But if you bruise me or bruise you, I don't care where it is. So he says, oh, okay. Okay, smart one here. He turned his smart one here. And so the wife came back. Whatever his name was, Ken, let's call him Kenneth. He was the one, I was telling you, he was the one who helped me out so brilliantly. Oh, we have to, oh, well, there wasn't anything much that he did. And so it didn't matter to me because what am I expecting? I'm not looking for validation from any one of them. Even the white lady who was so happy, you're going to turn around, probably you see me in your neighborhood and call me nigga 10 days now, I don't even know who I am. Yes, he's bald and he's husky and he looks violent. You know what I mean? So he didn't like that. He didn't like the fact that I matched words with him. I whipped out on him and mine was bigger than his. They don't like that symbolically. You don't know what I'm talking about. So he didn't want to accept it. He says, well, I think he's a smart ass if you ask me. And she's looking at him, but you could tell he had control over her and she was subservient to him. So she quickly pulled back all complimentary words that she had for me, right? So then he went on with his spiel. You know, I don't like their attitude. I don't like, but and then she just walked away because she was hurting, because she was mad because she was finally got something and she wanted to share something and he didn't want it. It was like, they've been doing that. You could tell, like, oh God, he always has to show his ass, you know? So she walked away and gave me an apologetic look like I can't talk with my husband. But one thing about that lets you know they are ride or die with who they with. So when they come nice to you and they send the wife to be all nice to you, don't think that she's gonna be nice to you when the man comes or the masculine energy comes around. They don't know you then. You know what I mean? Oh my God, there are 11 cops beating him down. Yes, there are 11 cops, whatever. And the cops show, real. Was he beating him up? Well, I had something in my eye. I can't really trust me. They're scared of being called a nigga lover more than they're up for truth. Because ain't none of them will lose their privilege they're born with for your black behind. I hope they don't ban this. Hey, I'm going to put it back up on the other one and put it on LanceScurv.com anyway. So I'm tired of these games. Like I said, go to LanceScurv.com, subscribe on the left-hand side under the header, and on the right-hand side under the header, you can register and log in. That way we can keep in communication instead of saying, oh, I don't see his Facebook anymore. I don't see him on YouTube anymore. I don't see him on Twitter anymore. We all should be connected because I'm not ever going to stop doing this stuff. No way. So anyway, he went on to say, you know, you're a smart one for what they pay you guys for. And I said, well, it's a job. But they only get what they pay me for. No more, no less. Now, see, they have this thing where they don't like slave masters and those who have the slave master mentality. They don't like to see you saying something negative about the next slave master because they're that slave master at the time by proxy. Who do you think they're going to believe when something happens and the next one rolls up? They're giving their own the benefit of the doubt. So they don't like that. So when I said that I only give them what they pay me, if they pay me twice, I give them twice more. On every job I've been on, that's the way it has been. I'm not stressing myself on somebody's job. If I'm there and I'm qualified, I'll give you the best if you treat me fairly. If you don't, I'm not going to bitch and moan. or I'm not going to Fitch and moan like Abercrombie and Fitch. We'll use Fitch for this one, right? I'm not going to Fitch and moan. I'm just going to pull back on what I give, right? Like that wife or that woman who feels that the husband or the boyfriend is going out and dipping his wick into somebody else's wax and causing a fire of passion, like a candle, right? Okay, I can't prove it, but something's going on here. I'm pulling back on the loving that you getting at home because I kind of think you're getting it on the outside. So this is how they do. So what he did was provoke me even more. And he said, it's got to be frustrating to look like you, as smart as you are, and you're only working here at Home Depot. I said, well, you don't know what the reason why I'm working here, you know, what it is. Do you have telepathy? Do you know? Can you tell me? I said, evidently, you've been thinking hard about certain things because at that time I had my hair growing. I didn't cut my hair. I said, you know, stress makes you lose hair. And that tells you I got a full head of hair. I'm not stressed. So what are you saying? What are you saying? Because I have a bald spot? Because I have a friggin' bald spot? Oh, no, you've crossed the line. I'm going to call your regional manager and you won't have a job. I said something smart. I said, your wife liked the work that I did as far as the design that's going to be on your kitchen. And the way she seemed like she wanted to appreciate me, I'll always have a job. And if you add 4 letters in front of that, you'll understand how much she appreciates me. Oh my God, you're what? Ellen, did you hear what he said? You're not giving him anything. We're going to call a regional. I know him personally, Steve Prudente. And for the next week, the coward manager didn't want to come to me directly. And I knew it was cat and mouse. So I wasn't afraid. I was going to use up the sick time that I had before they fired me. So I called in the next day, called in 3 days in a row. My 2 days off came back. Then now when I was supposed to come back, he was off. So I came in. So we played cat and mouse and I milked all the time that I possibly could. All the customers that were there that I knew, I was getting their phone numbers and whatever. And so when finally he was there, I went in late. I pissed him off. I had some coworkers that, yeah, he's in the office. He's preparing the paperwork. I said, okay, I'm coming in 2 hours late. And I'm not even coming in like I'm dressed for work. I came in dressed up. Nice shoes, nice outfit. I was ready to go hang out. So when I walked in, I didn't punch in. I walked straight to his office. And I said, we can stop this cat and mouse game. I got things to do today. I'm going to hang out today. Do what you got to do. You don't have to be afraid of me, man. I'm not going to hurt you. They don't like when you take charge of this situation and you're 10 steps ahead of them. They don't like that. They never love dealing with me. And even so many years later on, he tried to reach out to me on Facebook and I let him have it even more. You see what I mean? I just can't bend to that. I guess why in this world, the world will never see, their world will never pull me in to be great in anything, but they'll use a person like me or watch a person like me and want to shut you down or bring the coons around you to see what you're doing. But this is how they do in the system. And it's sick for us to want to emasculate or declaw ourselves to put on the things that they find acceptable. You know what I mean? Hell, I may go get a big ring right in the middle of my septum. I might put a big Mike Tyson tattoo on the side of my face and go back to America. Well, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? This nigga lost his mind. He went to Africa and changed. And then you see the people who want to play it safe, like, hi, Lance, how you doing? I gotta go. Let me see you. And then right people around to report this back. You know, So we gotta stop being branded. I'm gonna step off of this because I know Brother Day is gonna call me soon. He's got something to do, and I want to run downstairs, and I'm gonna come back with him, and I want to see what the problem is on my other platform. Why they're making that private? I can't put it on my site. What kind of mess is that? I pay for what I paid for. You know what I mean? And we gotta stop taking shorts. We gotta demand, especially when you putting your money down, which is a diminishing dollar anyway. But you work hard for your money. You sacrifice for your money. You have the right to the same service as anybody else. They're playing too many games. They're playing too many. There's a lot of things I can tell you that I won't tell you right here on how I've had to do the matrix and lean back and dodge bullets and dodge punches and everything just to get to a point on level with everybody else, which I'm not considering everybody else. I don't compete with other platforms. I do my own thing and stay in my own lane, and that's the way I've been doing for years. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm scary to certain YouTubers and certain people who write blogs, because, oh my God, I can't even be associated with him. He said this thing back in 2012, and he's not gonna pull it back. You should take that down. You've blown opportunities. What opportunities? To be strangled? To make myself a slave to somebody else's whims? To declaw myself? So I'm found acceptable? Denounce everything that I've done before? Like they tried to make Muhammad Ali or Cassius Clay, as they called him then, denounce everything before the fight. He said, no, I'm not doing it. Just call the fight off then. I'm not doing it. I'm one of them Negroes. That's what I grew up seeing, strong black men who spoke their mind, who lived it, who would catch a bullet and get down on their knees and symbolically give a blowjob to the daggone slave master. Because when you're emasculated and you're a punk that way, you look at the ones who speak their mind fearlessly, and there's a resentment. Coons resent you. Coons know the truth. That's why they run the opposite of the truth. And they see you thriving and living and being your own man, and you ain't got to bend down to nobody. I'd rather go out in the mountains and live in the woods. I don't care about no electric. I get my solar. I don't care about your grocery store. But grow my own fruit. I don't care to deal with anybody. I want to say privacy is a good thing. Because, see, in this system, as the show yesterday with Nurse Navaya shows, and for those that keep saying it, if y'all don't know, you'll need to go and look at that show. It's right on LanceScurv.com. You just look a few little bit under the chat room, because, you know, shows will scroll down. And just explore the site when you're there. But they did not allow me to go and put my this particular show, because I was going to cut this after a while and really go in and let them have it. Seriously. And I'm going to be in that mode each and every time. If I can't make white supremacy uncomfortable with everything that I do, I'm going back to the original way, what made the government start watching me from back in 2005. Yes, that's the way it was. And the whole time. And so if Nurse, let me just tell you, if you really are just new here and don't want to go or don't have the time to do that, Nurse Navaya was in a private group Facebook chat room on a break in the morning on her job. On a break, so it was legal. And she was speaking things realistically in the medical field, didn't mention where she worked, didn't mention any names of a patient. And by 5 o'clock, before she left, or maybe there was a little more time to that, she was summoned into the office of not a supervisor, some admin higher up person who she didn't even know existed. And she was curious as to what it was. And when she sat down in front of the person, they whipped out all of this paperwork, printed up of her conversation that she had hours earlier when she began the shift, or a little bit after when she had her first break. Isn't that something? Go back and listen to the show. I'm not lying. Tell them in the room, I'm not lying. Some of y'all were there last night. You know, I mean, it boggles the mind. That doesn't scare me, because they've been doing me that way, not in the same set of circumstances, but they've been doing that way. They've been doing little things to let me know that we're here. Come on now. It's like when you are the girlfriend, right? Let's just say main girlfriend. I'm not condoning any extracurricular activities, right? And you come to your man's house, his apartment. You're not living together yet or whatever have you. And there's that other woman who he messed with, who she combed her hair in the sink. He's already at work. She knew that you coming over later on. He left her in there, but she ain't rinsed her hair out the sink. Your hair don't curl up like that. It's a different kind of curl. Or she leaves something there, very small. And women know, like they're walking, who is here? Well, there's a piece of hair here. You know, I'm not saying, and you have the right to be that way. You know, I mean, putting your man's testicles on a scale ain't gonna work. I mean, some do that, and let me sniff your balls. That's what they do. But again, if you have a suspicion, you have every right to do so. You see what I mean? So just like that is how they look after us in every single little thing that they do. They're the ultimate freak voyeurs. That's why half their men, and I'll tell you from experience, have approached me. Excuse me, you seem to be in very good physical shape, and You know, you can see me. I kind of let myself go. Nigga, you was never on anyway. Get to the point. What's up? This is a white man, right? Well, we have different types of ways of expressing ourselves, and I'm not the kind of man where I'm going to keep her from having her pleasure. So I'd like to know if maybe you consider a talk. Maybe we can sit down and work something out. Work something out. Like what? You talking about your wife? What about your wife? What is it? Well, she saw you in the competition last week, and she just loved you. Oh my God, she thinks you're perfection. And I'm not performing as well as I used to when I was in college. And I know you guys are like hung down to your knee and you keep it up all night, like a battering ram, like you're pole vaulting. I'd like to know if you want to come over and screw my wife. What? You know how many offers for that I've gotten? But at the same time, they hate you. At the same time, they don't want you on their jobs. At the same time, they don't want you living in a better house than them. They don't want you driving a better car than them. They don't want you to have an education better than them, whether you went to a college or not, or self-taught like me. Because I'm a high school guy. I wasn't even interested in their schools. It was boring to me. They don't want you to have anything else more. And I always come around to this one subject. We so proud to say, I'm a well-hung black man. Oh, really? Do you know what that sounds like? Do you want to be a well-hung black man back in the time of slavery? They had a lot of well-hung. Oh, that black man was really hanging. And we feel good. Oh, I'm Becky, and you're really, really hung. Oh, okay. Look at that talk. And you go, you're so happy like a little coon. Sick. And you want to be branded. Name brand. Yes, I'm going to rock Abercrombie. I know some, I'm not going to mention no names. I mean, I know people in my circle. The people who are in my circle already know. Have a dude we know that Abercrombie and Fitch, and his hair's got to be a certain way, and straight up bleaching. Didn't want to come out in the sunlight. Come on, man, let's go. No, I'm feeling kind of sick. No, I'm going out to the club tonight. And the club that he went to, shoot. The bottom of the only way they let you in, if you ain't black, or you better have a white girl on your arm. The only blackness they'll allow you to walk in as a black man is a blackness under your foot bottom, if you didn't wash your feet. You better act like one of them. You better be, your nose better be right up in one of their anuses, and glad to have it. And they see a person. See, I've never understood the radar, but I understand it now when I look back on my life. Because I've always showed up, I'm always the same way with people. The same way with this one, the same way with that one. That's why I'm going to just straight up say it. My homegoing service has to be one big party. And y'all are going to be telling stories. Let's take out the story. No, he didn't even come. Y'all going to be there for like 2 days. I'm like, yo, hurry up and get this thing going, right? No, but seriously. It's just amazing how we degrade ourselves and then get mad when they follow through and do it. That if we stab ourselves or call each other nigger or act a certain way or call our sisters Fitch'S, which today the word B-I-T-C-H is Fitch because of the title, that we think that we are winning points with them. To be branded is not just the brand on the arm or the shoulder or the backside to show that you're property, but the branding that we do, not just even from the clothes, but the way we act to show that we are branded. We act a certain way, whether it's in a light passing fashion. I don't mean that you have to always go around them with a big boom box playing Public Enemy loud and you got black gloves on, a big afro, and yeah, so. No. But don't be afraid to move in the way that you were made so beautifully to move. I've seen women, how can I say it? Some of my sisters who don't want to wear something, not you're supposed to wear something tight in the office, and a lot do. A lot want to play that little black plaything role where they become a receptionist and show their boobies and be this little visual stimulant thing that the white man can, oh yeah, look at her, I think I have a black fetish, I'm going to try to get her if he didn't already do it, right? But I've seen women try not to be who they are. Like if they have a nice shape, they know these women are built like the Michelin Man. And so they try to cover themselves up because they don't want to shame that woman. Because the first thing they do when they start seeing you, in their, I'm not going to say times when they have laid the sword down, But in a moment of being honest, they see our sisters and they see the skin. Like say we have Oyala here with the beautiful face and skin. They'll be looking. Well, you know, you have some really beautiful skin. And they don't like saying it. But it's almost like confession to the Catholic person sitting there by the confession box. And you know, I wish I had a shape like you. I just never, genetics, it doesn't work out. Now, they'll be hitting little shots and doing little things and trying to copy you, but they watch everything. Like Paul Mooney said, they don't even want you to have anything. If they can knock you in a car accident, knock your lips off, say, get those nigga lips quick. You know what I mean? They want that too. They make fun of the very things that they wanted from you. That's how they do that reverse psychology thing. They know we come from a place, and I do know those come down to me with the whole planet Earth is Africa, but what's the best parts of the Earth? It's along the equator. And over there, which is, I'm saying over there like I'm over there, but I'm here right now. 0 latitude and 0 longitude. My senses are getting better. People say you gotta be careful eating certain foods and things that can, and you might get Alzheimer's. I'm un-Alzheimer's myself. How do you get there and just talk for 2 hours, 3 hours? Because I'm flowing that way, and that's I live this thing. I don't have to go look at no script. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I'm very comfortable. That's why that camera for y'all in for a big shot is barefoot and free, swinging free. Good feeling, makes me talk better too. But we got to get away from that. We got to get away from that mentality and trying to get this validation from them. And yes, I went all the way around the world. Dark side of Abercrombie and Fitch'S American Dream. It's an American nightmare for us. They had an image of how they want, and we succumb to that. This is why movies, clothing, music, religion, anything, you question everything. Question me. Don't even trust me. Question, just make sure, you have a good worker in your company. If you have the company, you own the business, but you go in and check behind them and make sure. You don't think, you ain't gonna do it all the time, but just keep your eyes open because people can change. They'll offer me $1 billion for what? Slowly change your way of talking to get these. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. They say, yeah, you saying that now. Whatever. Nah, because we got to cross over to another level. And I would throw away all my life work and the way that I've been just for what? Dead manifestations of life force, and I have the life force. I got the power. Remember that song? We do, but we don't know it. I'm going to end this because I'm supposed to be done in 15 minutes, right? But it's okay. But us having the power, and I've used this example before, how many times have you gone through the work week, all week, you were broke? There are friends who you could have said, listen, let me get a little $100 or $50 until, and you got this money coming. You earned it already, but for that week you're broke. You go to the refrigerator 20 times, same thing in there. Why do we do that? We keep going. I feel like fooling someone and put something in there. Like, man, that wasn't there. We keep going, but we go through the whole week, tighten our belt, hoping, I'm just making stuff up. I ain't never been through this. Like this, I'm gonna eat after some stranger. But I've seen people who are in break rooms of jobs, or they keep going to the break room to see who left what. Oh, there's 2 slices of pizza there, and I know they're gonna throw it out. take it to the bathroom. I've seen all kinds of things. We go all week broke, feeling we don't have any money, feeling we don't have the power of money, what we perceive it to be, whatever it may be, right? And then we wash our clothes on the Saturday or the Friday night. You're like, what the hell? I got $300 in here. It may not be $100 bills, and it may be 20s and 5s and 10s all crumpled up. And you're about to put your clothes in the wash, and all week long, you had the financial power and you didn't even know it. So this is what I'm saying to you. You have great power over and above what they want you to know and think. You don't have to wear their branding on you. You don't have to put their clothes on you and try to parade around. Oh, I'm gonna scrub the blackness off. Give me that bleaching cream. There's one brand I'll never forget. This Trinidadian girl watching, she's a grown woman. I don't care if she don't like it. I used to make fun of her in person. She used to, and she knew it. I used to school her on certain things.
She was pretty, had a hourglass shape out this world. When she walked down the street, she really stopped traffic. And she used to love to wear this thing put on called Fair and White. I'll never forget it. I'm not catching Alzheimer's yet, but if I did, I'm 90 years old. Tell us about the girl, Fair and White. Fair and White. Even naming the things, they got to fair. Like they have, do you know anything white and fair? Fair and White. She didn't want no other brand because it's not about the size of the bottle, 12 ounces, 16 ounces, or whatever, but they know the chemicals. Well, this one strips out blackness even more. And they had a video circulating around where they put this stuff on a black woman. I think she was in Jamaica, and they had like a thing to scrape off, and it scraped right off. Come on, y'all, in the chat room, let me know if you saw that. I could not believe it. It's some old Express, super powerful serum in there, something to just, anti-Negro, something. And these people are doing it. And they will hear this stuff, it'll go right in one ear and come out the next, and they're going to keep on doing it. But like, again, you have the power. Compare it to the time you thought you were broke or weak, you were hungry, you walked home, you didn't take public transportation, you shouldn't have saved all the money that you had, little $20 you had for the whole week, eating crackers, right? And you realize you had hundreds of dollars on you. You have the power. I have the power. And collectively, we are synergistic. We're not, that's why we should not be working against each other. And if we do, and if I find out that somebody's working against me, I get rid of them. Yes, because I'm all about it. I have no time to waste. I can't believe when I sent it to Empress G earlier. I found my old passport picture from when I was 37 years old. And it's something to look and see, well, how much that's boom, boom, that's 22 years. Look, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna put on music for a second. I hope this camera don't drop. I'm gonna show it to you. I couldn't believe it. Give me a second. Let me put a banner up over here, and I'll be right back. Let me just put some music on. Be right back. All right. We're back. Let me start this cam again. Okay. Let's cut this music down. That song, I like that song, but it makes me feel dizzy because it starts slowing down. Sounds like some old back in the blaxploitation up in Harlem, so that kind of music. The critics are rolling up. But I can't show all the information, right? I gotta cover it somehow. Let me put a plastic bag over it, and I'll show you the part. I couldn't believe it. What does this say here? Oh, there's nothing important. Look at that. That's when I was 37 years old. I'm like, what happened in the last 22 years to age me like that? Y'all see? U.S. passport. Unbelievable. That looks like it's like 60 years ago. What happened? I don't know. I'm joking, right? Like I said, I'm gonna get ready to go. I know David's gonna call me shortly, and I gotta take a little run out. We're still gonna do our 6 o'clock show. Don't know what I'm gonna talk about, but we're gonna find something to talk about. We started with Abercrombie and Fitch, and we talked about how these things influence us and why we have to have our own identity instead of blindly following behind people to wear their things and get rid of. What happened to that older woman who makes nice clothes on her own and sews on her own? What happened to that black company that you heard about that you can put your money into them instead of spend with somebody who doesn't only bother with you? And with the campaign now to negate what is said in that documentary, Abercrombie and Fitch said, and I haven't read the whole thing, oh, but that's the past, we're evolving. No, you ain't evolving from that. You're getting worse in it. So now they put an Asian person here, look like one here, one that looks kind of Asian, right? If you don't look hard enough, because of the shirts and stuff, so let's put them there. And they've had black male models and black female models, but the sprinkling of it. There's a little black spot on the sun today. That's all you are. So they can point and say, we have a token here. We're not guilty of racism. Anyway, I just want to say I love you all. And I'm going to skedaddle, but we'll be right back. I got to set up the links and stuff like that. It's around 10 o'clock. For me, 6 o'clock for you. I always say it like that, right? So anyway, let me skedaddle and we will talk soon. I hope you got something out of these words. And I got to find out what's going on with my the other company, Anyway, there's that window shopping song where you ain't got no money, you just looking. Anyway, take care, y'all. Much love. Like and share, even though you're trying to still keep our numbers down, still it ain't gonna stop the unity. We're gonna keep on going. Much love, y'all. Peace. Mwah.